everyone, my name is Simon. Welcome to another Sims 4 speed build video on my channel. So today I'm recreating a design element that I have used in one of my stop motion builds before, specifically the Scandinavian modern home that I uploaded a couple of weeks ago. And I'll be using these wall decorations from Eco Lifestyle again to build these wooden roof extensions. And as you can see here, I'm using the tool mod for that. And what I've done so far is place the wood paneling in an empty room. Then I sized it up by, let me get this straight, 1.205. And then I rotated the ones that were supposed to go on top by minus 55 degrees. Interesting, isn't it? Crickets, do you hear them? Anyway, you get the idea. This is pretty tedious, but let me tell you, the shadows these wooden beams will cast in the inside of the home are worth every second of it. You can already catch a glimpse of them here. And just let me say, it is always best with this to plan ahead, know exactly how many rows of paneling you need, because here I then realized I needed a little bit more, and then I had to adjust that one element to the others, and that is really not the clever way to do it. It's best to know exactly how many you need, and then you align them on the ground and group them together before plopping them onto the roof. So this house is going to be a very small lake cabin, and I initially planned it to be a tiny house, but I think building it on a diagonal really prevented this plan from succeeding, because one diagonal tile I think is actually the same size as two regular tiles, and that makes it so much harder to fulfill the guidelines of a tiny house. The platform on the roof also counts, so this really blew up the tile count for this building, and it's not even near what is the highest tier of tiny house. Well, I think it's just called small house, right? So it even doesn't fulfill that requirement. So now you see me build that lake I was talking about earlier. It's not really a lake, it's probably a pond, but but I will call it lake house, because pond house really doesn't have a ring to it, does it? So I put lots of plants around that lake pond, which I love, and but it doesn't really look the way I actually envisioned it in my mind. I wanted it to be a bit more brownish, like a little bit more natural. It looks so lush and green and so vibrant, and I really wanted it to look like a natural lake, pond, whatever. And I really didn't find the right plans for that in the catalog. I guess it will look more like I actually envisioned it in the seasonal fall, but I haven't actually checked myself. So if you download the house and put your Sims in it and the seasonal fall comes around, you know that this is probably the way Simon wanted this to look. So I failed at making this a tiny home, but I did make it an eco home. And you see this here. I have the solar panels on the roof. I have the, what is it, wind turbine? Is it that? Yes, it is. I just checked. And also I planned on putting one of those dew collectors in the back, but I really didn't like how it looked. It looked so crafty and it really didn't match the style of the house, so I just left that. But there's enough room outside for you to put a dew collector to make this a proper eco home. I built many of these eco houses, but somehow a giant-ass television always finds its way in there. For this house in particular, I even built a fire pit on the outside later on. So not everything about these so-called eco houses is really that super eco-friendly, but at least it runs on sustainable energy, so I guess that qualifies it as an eco home nonetheless. At first I wanted the interior of the house to mimic the exterior for the most part by using a similar color scheme. You saw that earlier, that everything was like light wood and pastel colors, but I thought this was too reminiscent of the other home that I used the wooden roof extensions for was also like this kind of Scandi chic interior decoration style, which I still think it qualifies as, but I used on the furniture, I used darker woods, and then richer colors on the wall and on the upholstery, so it looks a little bit different from the other Scandinavian home. That art piece on the wall, by the way, it came with Get Together, and I wasn't even aware of its existence. I just stumbled across it in the catalog and just thought, why don't I use that somewhere? I was a little bit sad though that it only came in like grayscale colors. I think there's a white, a gray, a black, and not really like a colorful one. I think this would have been really great there. Like for instance, I think in City Living, there's like a similar kind of artwork for the wall that comes in, you know, neutral colors, but also has these really nice colorful swatches, and I think something like that would have been really great there. But for this home I didn't use City Living, so I couldn't do that, but I think this one works too, even though it's not really colorful. Okay, this is it. My cat decided to join, so don't mind the purring. Stay tuned for the house tour at the end. You can find the house on the gallery under Taffissimo. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you think of the house in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram under Taffissimo_builds for additional content, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!
Thank you.